What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share, talk about it, be about it, each one, teach one. And we appreciate your support in getting us this far. And of course, check out our podcast if you haven't already. Now, today, we have the honor and the privilege of being joined by Volume 10. Thank you for coming through, sir.
Hey, what's up?
Man, it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. A lot to go through today, so I'm excited to get to it. So, yes, a lot to get to, man. You put out a lot of music, man. That's a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Interesting things. So we'll be getting to it. But one thing that I wanted to get from the beginning was the Heavyweights crew, the Heavyweights song that you had on Inner City Griots with Freestyle Fellowship. Because that was, I believe, the first time I'd ever heard you or heard of you or knew who you were, because I'm from Maryland, so I wasn't out in LA. So that was the first time I heard you. So for people like myself that didn't know you, what at that point in your life and in your career, how did that, if at all, change things for you?
Well, I mean, I guess if just it was the beginning, you know what I mean? It was the beginning of my industry career, you know? And I believe that was the first time that they had heard of me. And I'm not going to say that it changed very much. It was like a progression, right? So like, you don't know how to rap and then you practice, you do, mixtapes with your nephew beatboxing on a radio, you know what I mean? on a jukebox. You get your stage together, you figure out how you're going to be dramatic on stage, and you go to the good life, you go to college, and you put out a little EP. I put out an EP called Crazy As I Want to Be. Was the first time that I ever dropped any music, and I just sold little cassettes around the city. I would go perform places, and I would sell CDs there. And then you get pulled up, you know what I'm saying, by Freestyle Fellowship, you know what I mean? And they give you an opportunity to bless the mic for 16 bars with a bunch of incredible MCs. They were like the ringmasters, at that point. They were the first cats out of the group to get a record deal, and so I guess they just put together the crew, the top echelon of the good life. And, and hopefully, you get a hit, and I don't mean a hit record. I mean, they pulled me up, they put me on the bat, and they said, let's hear what you got. And I guess it's been a roller coaster ride after that. I want to say I actually did one that Myka 9 liked the best. I should have kept that one. I should have kept the one that he liked. So I just want to let you know, Mike, you were right. But they still liked it. You know what I mean? It gave me my first strike. You know what I mean? And it meant a lot for Freestyle Fellowship to tap you on the shoulder and say, you're one of the dope ones out of us, and you deserve to be acknowledged. You know what I mean?
So what was different about your verse that makes you remember it so distinctly?
It was definitely in my style. You know what I mean? It wasn't a chop. It was a stretch. And, you know, it I guess, you know, I remember the reactions of people, and it was definitely something that that was memorable, in that, again, Freestyle Fellowship blessing you. You know, going to the studio, I had never been to a studio before. You know, to go in there and see all of the gadgets, and, you know, it all looked like money. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was a lot of people at the studio. I guess they did the song in one day.
There was a lot of people on the song.
And every time we had one of those type of events, it always felt like a reunion, even though we had just seen each other last week. So there was definitely a party atmosphere. Like I said, I got my first stripe out of it. It was my first time in the studio and my first ear to the industry. So yeah, it was a lot.
Absolutely. Now, this coming out in '93, I wanted to get the thing for you when you were saying your style and flipping and all these different things. How and why was that something stylistically that you gravitated toward?
What are you talking about?
How you developed your different flows and your different styles. Like, what was it about that appealed to you, or what inspired you or made you look to like, oh, I'm gonna rap like this as opposed to a different way?
I mean, first I got to say, Myka 9. I didn't want to rap like everyone at the life. You know what I mean? Like, he already cornered, you know, he already took that and made it his. You know what I mean? And when I walked in there, he was chopping and everybody else was chopping too. And I was seeking to find my own lane. And because they were chopping so much, that I just thought about going the opposite way. You know what I mean? How can I be totally the opposite of what these guys are doing? And, you know, you go on a style search. You know what I mean? Everyone that is in front of the microphone needs to go on a style search, whether or not you're singing, whether you're rapping, even if you're just being an announcer, even you at your position, if you got a microphone in front of you, it's about your voice. You know what I mean? And how you're going to pitch it, how are you going to articulate your voice? And, you know, I went on that search, and I believe probably Mike went through that search too. I mean, I hear JMD, which is one of his producers, say that he actually led Mike to his style and gave him jazz as a means of finding that. And, you know, for me, I just went back to hip hop and started paying very close attention to what guys were doing on a stylistic plateau. And, you know, I mean, I know exactly where I got it from. And a lot of guys who have it, they know exactly where they got it from. You know what I'm saying? When you hear styles in the genre, you know they came from somewhere. You best to believe it. It came from somewhere. They don't just come out of the thin air. The ones that are able to bring it out of the thin air are the gods of the universe. You know what I mean? And everyone else is their fucking peons. You know what I mean? So I was looking, and I first noticed it with Chubb Rock. And I should go back. I have to go back and listen to his stuff, but because I have to be able to tell people exactly the song and exactly what word it was, right? But I don't right now. But yeah, I just heard him. What later I know, what later people told me was I heard him swing, right? Whereas the Mike was, you know what I mean, as much as he could. I heard Chubb Rock go, and so if we're doing notes, Mike would be a trumpet, I would be a sax. And I heard Chubb go on a word where he just stretched the word. And then the blink went, and I tell people all the time, look, we didn't invent any of this. We just coined these styles. And what I mean by that, we heard something that someone else did, whether or not it was this era or 100 years ago, and they didn't put a mark on it. They didn't make it theirs. It wasn't enough of it for them to be able to coin it, or it was too new and they walked over it. The style, the stretch style is what I call it, the swing, which is what some jazz guys would tell me, was in hip hop. And the first person that I heard do it, or my first memory of a person doing it, was what's that guy? What's that guy's name? The Rapping Duke.
Rapping Duke, yeah.
Rapping Duke.
Rapping Duke, yeah.
So this is after coming across it and then having to backtrack and start listening to try to figure out where it came or what it was. So my first experience with it was him. Da 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 da. That was that fool's hook. You know what I'm saying? And it was fucking amazing, right? Because going back and tracing the style, I go, oh, well, this fool's been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Just like how people say, well, Freestyle Fellowship, Myka 9 didn't start rapping fast. People were rapping fast before he ever started rapping, but they didn't coin it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't make it theirs. They didn't make it a style. They didn't stomp that thing and say, you know what? I'm going to use this primarily as my form of communication on all of my songs, and I'm going to coin it. I'm going to stamp my name on this. Nobody did that with fast rap.
So let me ask you that, because that's an interesting point, because taking it back to the 70s and early 80s, you got the Kumo D's, you got Spoonie G, you got Grandmaster Caz, and then a little bit later you get LL Cool J, you get Big Daddy Kane, a lot of people rapping much faster, Cool G rap. So from your opinion and what you saw with Freestyle Fellowship with yourself, how did, like, they used it on a song or a verse? And even LL, like, when I think about slow stuff on Going Back to Cali, bikini small, heels tall, she said she liked the ocean. He's doing it in a different way, but similar. So my question is, some people like LL, Kumo D, Spoonie G, whatever, they might have used it on a song, a verse, even a few songs, but to your point, they didn't make it their style. So how does that help an artist to just have it in their repertoire versus like Twister made that his style, and people, that's what Twister can rap any kind of way, and he's shown that throughout his career, but people look at him for the fast rap. So how does that affect you, positive, negatively, or if at all?
Well, okay, so you're talking about fast rapping.
Well, no, I'm saying like you, if you're slowing things down or extending, like Akinelli, you know, he's known for extending things too. You know, it's just all people have different styles, different things, even though that might be a repertoire thing as opposed to a.
You said how does it help you? I mean, you know, we all the ones who were lucky enough to, you know, use or have something be, you know, considered theirs is very important. You know what I'm saying? You know, to be thought of as someone who sparks a trend is very important. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm saying to the world, Myka 9 started a trend with that chop. Volume 10 started a trend with that stretch. And they should be acknowledged for it. The amount, you know, I met DJ Quik one day, and he wasn't trying to pay me any attention, right? Someone was trying to introduce me to him, and he was just like not paying attention. And my buddy was like, hey, I don't know why he's just not allowing me to introduce you to him. And I said, dude, he probably just thinks I'm a fan or something. Just tell him I'm fucking volume 10. And he goes, he whispers, it's volume 10. He goes, what? So it all changed. And he said, hey, you're volume 10? I was like, yeah, man, I'm volume 10. Nice to meet you. He says, hey, bro, you're one of the best that ever did it. He said, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, or this guy, bro. You're fucking dope. You're one of the best. And I was like, thank you very much. He knows. When you're in it from the beginning, you see the progression of things, and then you fucking know. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's important.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.